Little girl calls bikers and says he said it wouldn't hurt. The words echoed in Ryder's mind as he answered the ringing phone in the quiet of the Iron Horse garage. The voice on the other end was small, trembling, and desperate. Please, please help, he said it wouldn't hurt, the girl's voice cracked. She was no older than 7, every syllable weighted with fear. Ryder instinctively gripped the phone tighter, his knuckles white, heart pounding. Hey, slow down. Who said it wouldn't hurt? Who's hurting you? He asked, his voice steady but urgent. He, my dad's friend. I don't know, it's my arm, it really hurts now, please, she whimpered. The sound of her tiny sobs made the air in the garage grow heavy. Even the seasoned bikers around him froze. Cole stepped closer, voice low but firm. Ryder, it's bad. Really bad. That's the kind of voice you don't ignore. Ryder took a deep breath, adrenaline surging. Everyone, gear up. Now. We're not just riding. We're going to make sure she's safe. That's a promise. Nothing else matters. Outside, engines roared to life, a chorus of power and resolve echoing across the empty streets. Every biker who had answered the call felt it, the weight of moral responsibility, the urgency of loyalty, and the raw necessity of courage. The girl's words repeated in Ryder's mind, haunting and fragile. He said it wouldn't hurt. It was a plea, a tiny thread of trust thrown into the world. And Ryder knew, without question, that they would not let it snap. Hank adjusted his jacket, voice grim. She trusted us over the fear she's living with. We can't fail her. Ryder gripped the phone one last time. You're not alone anymore, kid. We're coming. Hold on. The bikers lined up their Harleys, engines rumbling low, a collective heartbeat of protection. The night had shifted. It was no longer just another ride, it was a rescue mission. And in the shadows of the city, the promise of courage, loyalty, and moral strength prepared to face the darkness that threatened a little girl's life. The Iron Horse crew knew one truth: some calls couldn't be ignored, some cries demanded action. And this was one of them. Ryder's hands gripped the handlebars, engines growling beneath him like a living beast. The streets of the city blurred past as the Iron Horse crew roared through the night, 40 motorcycles moving in perfect formation, a wall of loyalty and protection. Every second counted, and every heartbeat reminded them of the small voice on the phone, trembling, desperate, trusting. Cole rode beside Ryder, eyes scanning the streets for anything unusual. She said it wouldn't hurt. Kid's been through hell already. We can't let him get another second with her. Hank's jaw was set, teeth tight. We don't just ride fast. We ride smart. Eyes everywhere. Don't let anyone slip by. Inside the little girl's home, shadows danced across the walls. Mia, the girl, sat huddled in a corner, clutching her teddy bear, the remnants of fear etched across her small frame. The man she had trusted, someone who had promised her safety, was gone from the room now, but the echoes of pain lingered, making every breath heavy and trembling. As the bikers approached, Ryder's mind focused on one unshakable truth. Speed mattered, but precision mattered more. One wrong move, one delay, and the fragile trust this girl had placed in the world could shatter completely. Through the darkened streets, the convoy moved with quiet coordination. Sable, riding just behind Ryder, whispered into her comm, "We're near. Prep for extraction. She needs to be safe before he knows we're here." Ryder's eyes softened slightly, thinking of Mia's small voice, repeating those haunting words. He said it wouldn't hurt. Each word weighed on him, fueling the fire of protective rage and unwavering resolve. They turned into a narrow alley, headlights illuminating the scene, the girl's abuser standing outside the tiny apartment, unaware of the force approaching. Ryder slowed just enough to give the signal. Cole and Hank flanked the entrances. Sable positioned herself where Mia would be brought out. Every biker knew their role: protect the innocent, neutralize threat, and move with moral precision. Mia's tiny silhouette appeared in the doorway, trembling. Ryder lifted her gently, speaking softly, "You're safe now. We've got you." As the bikers moved, engines humming with controlled fury, the man's face twisted in shock. He stepped forward, threatening, but the Iron Horse crew advanced as one, a wall of moral authority and courage. "Stay back," Ryder commanded, voice resonating through the alley. "You don't touch her. Not tonight. Not ever." The man hesitated, then backed down, realizing he could not face 40 bikers united by loyalty, courage, and moral action. Mia clung to her rescuers, and for the first time that night, a flicker of relief shone through her fear. The convoy sped away, the city lights reflecting off the chrome and leather, a heartbeat of protection surrounding Mia. Every turn, every rev of the engine, reminded her, trust could be rebuilt, courage could be restored, and there were people in the world willing to act when it mattered most. Ryder glanced at her, voice low but tender. "You're safe. That's a promise we keep. Always." The night air was cold, biting at Mia's small face as Ryder carried her to the lead bike, carefully securing her behind him. The engines of the Iron Horse crew purred like a steady heartbeat, a protective rhythm that wrapped around her like a warm blanket. Every biker was alert, scanning the dark streets, every shadow, every alley, for any sign of threat. Cole rode ahead, guiding the convoy to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. It wasn't just a building, it was a fortress built for moments like this, reinforced by years of biker experience, moral vigilance, and protective instinct. Sable and Hank flanked the exits, their presence alone creating an invisible barrier no intruder would dare breach. Inside the warehouse, soft blankets were laid out, a small corner transformed into a temporary sanctuary for Mia. Ryder gently set her down, brushing a strand of hair from her tear-streaked face. "You're safe here. No one's coming near you." Mia clutched her teddy bear tightly, trembling, voice small. I thought no one would believe me. I didn't know what to do." Hank knelt beside her, voice firm yet gentle. "We believe you. That's why we're here. That's why we ride. To stand up when others won't. To protect when others can't." Toby, the youngest rider, offered her a small water bottle. "It's going to be okay. You're with people who care. People who act when it matters most." The crew moved silently, checking the perimeter, ensuring the sanctuary was secure. Even in the shadows, the weight of moral responsibility was tangible. Every scar, every hardened expression, every leather jacket represented unwavering courage and loyalty. Mia realized, slowly, that these were not just bikers, they were guardians, chosen by circumstance to be her protectors. Ryder leaned closer, voice soft but resolute. "You trusted us on the phone. You believed someone would come. That trust, we honor it. You're not alone anymore. Ever." Mia hugged her teddy bear, looking up at him with wide, watery eyes. Thank you for coming." Cole placed a hand gently on Ryder's shoulder. "It's not just us helping her. She's teaching us, too, what it means to protect, to care, to act with moral strength when it counts." Outside, the engines of their motorcycles hummed quietly, a low, reassuring lullaby of loyalty, courage, and presence. The warehouse, once empty and abandoned, now became a sanctuary of hope, a place where fear could be held at bay, if only for a while, and where a little girl could begin to feel safe again. Mia's small hands stroked the teddy bear's worn fur. She realized, with a fragile sense of relief, that she had found something she thought was lost forever. Protection, care, and a family who would act when the world had failed her. The night's silence in the warehouse was fragile, almost sacred. Mia clutched her teddy bear tightly, curling into the blankets, unaware that danger still lingered outside. Ryder paced near the entrance, ears straining for the slightest sound, while Cole and Hank checked every corner and exit. Their presence radiated moral authority, but even the most hardened bikers knew that vigilance never sleeps. A shadow moved across the far edge of the property, faint, deliberate, menacing. The man who had hurt Mia before had returned, more determined, fueled by anger and disbelief that a little girl's call could summon 40 bikers in her defense. Ryder's eyes narrowed. "Everyone. Positions. He's testing us. Don't let him think he can intimidate. Not now, not ever." Sable moved behind Mia, gently placing a protective arm over her. "Stay quiet. No sudden moves. "We've got you," she whispered. Outside, the intruder circled the warehouse, trying to find a weak point. But every move he made was met with calculated vigilance. The bikers weren't just blocking doors, they were radiating a presence, a moral fortress that told him in unspoken terms, "You do not touch her." Toby, sitting quietly beside Mia, whispered softly, "He's scared. He can feel it. That's how we keep her safe." Ryder gripped his leather gloves tighter. Fear doesn't protect. Action does. Courage protects. Loyalty protects. And right now, we're all of that. The man finally stepped closer, raising a hand in intimidation. But the bikers didn't flinch. With synchronized precision, they moved to intercept, forming a human barrier around the girl and her sanctuary. Ryder's voice cut through the tension like steel. "Leave. Now. You will not touch her. Not tonight. Not ever." The intruder hesitated, realizing the futility of his actions. 40 eyes, 40 hearts, and 40 layers of moral courage bore down on him. Slowly, he retreated, defeated not by violence alone, but by the unwavering, righteous presence of those willing to act when it mattered most. Inside, Mia's small hands trembled on her teddy bear, but relief softened her tears. Ryder knelt beside her. "See, courage isn't about fighting. It's about standing when it matters, protecting when no one else will." The warehouse, once shadowed with fear, now hummed softly with engines in the distance and the quiet warmth of protection. Mia had survived the night not by luck, but by the unwavering moral strength of people who chose to rise for her. The threat was gone, for now, but the lesson was clear. Some dangers can return, but courage, loyalty, and moral action will always stand stronger. The warehouse was quiet now, but the bikers knew the danger wasn't fully gone. Ryder gathered the crew around, engines humming softly outside as a backdrop to their urgent discussion. Every rider's face reflected focus, concern, and moral resolve. Protecting Mia was no longer just a mission, it was a responsibility that weighed heavily on their hearts. "We need a plan," Ryder began, voice low but firm. "She can't go back home, not tonight, maybe not ever. He'll come looking again, and we need to make sure she's untouchable." "Ideas?" Cole spoke first, his voice steady. "Temporary safe house. Off the grid. We rotate shifts. Full watch, no exceptions." Hank nodded. "We'll set up a perimeter, silent alarms, backup vehicles. She should never have to feel alone again." Sable, kneeling beside Mia, held her hand gently. "We need to make sure she feels safe emotionally too. Not just physically. We can teach her courage, trust, and hope while we protect her." Toby adjusted the teddy bear in Mia's arms. "She trusts us now. That trust is stronger than any fear he could put in her. That's how we keep her safe." Ryder's eyes softened as he looked at the little girl curled in the corner. "She's already brave," he said quietly. "We're just here to make sure the world doesn't crush that bravery. It's about loyalty, courage, and moral strength. And she deserves all three." The bikers split into teams, each taking a role in guarding the perimeter, scouting the neighborhood, and coordinating with trusted allies in nearby towns. Every action was deliberate, precise, and unwavering. As night slowly gave way to pre-dawn light, Mia felt the weight of fear lifting. The sound of engines and low murmurs of her new family surrounded her like a protective cocoon. For the first time, she allowed herself a small smile, the teddy bear squeezed tightly against her chest. Ryder knelt beside her, whispering, "We're not just protecting you tonight. We're building a future where you don't have to be afraid. Remember this, courage can grow, fear can shrink, and family chooses you when it matters." Clara, the diner waitress who had been helping coordinate care, watched from a corner with tears in her eyes. These bikers, they're showing her the real meaning of protection and trust. And in doing so, they're teaching all of us what it means to be human. The warehouse, once a temporary refuge, now became a fortress of loyalty and moral strength. Mia's small heart began to trust again, knowing that courage, protection, and family were no longer just words. They were living, breathing forces surrounding her every moment. The sun was just beginning to rise over Rustwood, casting a pale light across the quiet streets. But the bikers knew that the danger hadn't ended. The man who had hurt Mia was desperate now, and desperation often led to recklessness. Ryder's crew moved with precision, every rider aware that this could be the moment that tested their courage, loyalty, and moral strength like never before. From the warehouse rooftop, Sable signaled, shadows moving near the alley, heading straight for the safe house. "He's here," she whispered, voice tense. "And he's not alone." Ryder's eyes hardened. "Everyone. Positions. Keep her safe at all costs. No hesitation. Protect her like she's your own." Hank and Cole flanked the exits while Toby stayed close to Mia, whispering reassurance into her small ear. The girl clutched her teddy bear tightly, but she no longer trembled. She had learned courage from those surrounding her, and the smallest spark of hope had grown into a protective flame. The intruders approached, stepping cautiously, their confidence shaking as they realized 40 bikers were ready to act. Ryder stepped forward, voice low and resonant, carrying authority that made even the boldest intruders pause. "This ends now. You do not touch her. Not tonight. Not ever." A tense standoff followed. The man lunged forward, attempting to intimidate, but the bikers acted in perfect synchrony. Each movement was precise, each step a demonstration of unwavering moral authority. Not a single rider struck without reason. Instead, their presence, their courage, and their loyalty created an impenetrable shield. Toby raised the teddy bear and blew softly on the small whistle attached to it, a symbol of hope and trust. The sound carried through the air, strange but commanding. The intruders froze, fear and disbelief flickering across their faces. Even a hardened criminal could feel the moral force pressing down upon him, a force stronger than fists or weapons, the unshakable commitment to protect the innocent. Slowly, the man and his accomplices retreated, realizing they could not break the fortress of loyalty, courage, and moral action. Ryder exhaled deeply, kneeling beside Mia. "See, courage isn't just fighting. It's standing when it matters, protecting when others won't. And today, we've done both." Mia hugged her teddy bear against her chest, her small face breaking into a fragile smile. Around her, the bikers exhaled, engines low and steady, a rhythm of protection and triumph filling the warehouse. The night of terror had passed, replaced by the unwavering presence of moral strength, courage, and family. For Mia, the lesson was profound. True protection comes not just from strength, but from loyalty, presence, and action guided by moral conviction. And for the bikers, it was a reminder that even the smallest voice could call forth courage greater than any threat. The warehouse was quiet now, bathed in the soft light of dawn. Mia sat wrapped in a warm blanket, teddy bear cradled in her arms, eyes wide with wonder and relief. For the first time since the night had begun, she felt truly safe, not just because the danger had passed, but because she had a family who would never let harm reach her. Ryder crouched beside her, voice calm but strong. "Mia, you trusted someone you barely knew to answer your call for help. That trust, we honored it. That's what family does. That's what courage does. That's what loyalty does." Mia's voice trembled but carried awe. I didn't think anyone would come, that anyone would care." Hank smiled, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Sometimes the world can be cruel, but courage and loyalty make it right again. People who act when it matters, that's real family." Cole added, "You're safe now, kid. And we're not just protecting you tonight. We're showing you that bravery exists, even when the world tries to convince you otherwise." Toby, small but fierce, gave her a gentle smile. "Your voice mattered. Your call mattered. And because of that, we all acted. That's the kind of strength you carry, too." Mia hugged her teddy bear tightly, a small smile breaking through her tears. She realized that her life had been changed forever, not by fear, but by those who rose for her when she needed it most. The bikers weren't just riders, they were guardians, teachers, and a living example of courage, loyalty, and moral strength. The engines of the motorcycles hummed softly outside, a lullaby of protection and unwavering presence. The city slowly woke, but within the walls of the warehouse, Mia's world had been restored. She had been seen, heard, and protected, and for the first time, she believed that safety, hope, and family could exist even in the darkest of nights. Courage is more than strength, it's standing for those who cannot stand for themselves. Loyalty is proven by action, not words, especially when the stakes are high. Protection comes from moral conviction as much as presence. Action guided by rightness changes lives. Even the smallest voice can summon great bravery and inspire unwavering loyalty. Family is chosen by those who rise when it matters, creating bonds stronger than fear. In the face of darkness, courage, loyalty, and moral strength shine the brightest.